Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs postgame show podcast presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo, and Mr. Corey Freedman in here after an 8-3 Cubs win. The Cubs take the highly hyped, much-awaited Justin Steele revenge game. Are we the only idiots that were calling it that?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Just confirming that is true.
We were.
Steele was not bad, but there were a lot of really, really good things in this game. It was actually, as far as a Cubs-Reds game, 2 cellar dwellers going at it at Wrigley Field, it was a fun game to watch.
As I said, the last time I was in studio, they lost by
19-5.
Not 14. So being here for a win, watching with the boys as they win, Justin Steele, a very nice outing. Yes, a much more pleasant evening.
You know, I mean, let's go through the guys that really, I mean, you could go through 4 or 5 when we get to who you got. But really, Contreras was a star. Morel was a star. And we talked about the lineup going into this game, that Morel had struggled with strikeouts going into it. We even talked about the possibility, like what happens if these 3-4 strikeout games continue to pile up? Is there a point at which the Cubs would consider, sending him to AAA? We mentioned it last night. They move him down to the lineup, just like Cody suggested last night. Try that first. Sure enough, first he responds with a great throw to home plate. Right? Defensively, he gets it done.
Electric
that might
play.
be the play of the game, honestly.
It was the play of the game, definitely. Yeah. The reaction from Contreras, the reaction from Steele,
the crowd,
all fired up. And then he did a nice job at the plate too, including that home run, which I'm still not sure. I think it left the ballpark.
I thought it did. It looked like it. It was somehow, some way, it wasn't the hardest hit baseball tonight. Wilson Contreras did that, but he did hit it the farthest, 429 feet. I would say that whether that's in or out of the ballpark, that's still very far.
Yeah.
So I have a joke there that I'm just going to let go by, but there's definitely a joke that could be said about the hardest hit ball. And anyway, but he was so good, and it's like that's why you don't have knee-jerk reactions and sending guys down, because small things can happen. Baseball's such a strange sport; it can flip around the next day. He might struggle tomorrow and strike out 3 times if he's in the lineup. We don't know, but these are the reasons that you like him so far in a Cubs uniform. It's his energy. It's his plate approach when he's on. It's his defense. It's the way he's playing the game. All of it. I like to see him in the lineup, and I want to see him in the lineup every day.
Well, and I liked what David Ross said, I think, before the game today, talking about moving him down in the order. He pointed out kind of exactly what you're saying, that every day, even as he's been struggling, he's the same guy, bringing the energy, bringing the approach, fist bumping the umpire. He's still the same guy, even as he was going through those struggles. And you move him down, you take the pressure off, and, we see it sort of pay dividends right away. And you alluded to it, but when you look at the box score, he did strike out once tonight, but that was after he fouled a ball.
Yeah. He was just trying to get off
into his crotch.
Yeah.
So the CHGO Cubs podcast, we're not counting that strikeout. All right, these are the things you can't pick up in the box score, Luke. It doesn't tell you.
I know.
You need the context there. But so I'm calling that a no strikeout game. He had a couple hits. And the play in the field is another one of those reasons why you really want to let him battle through those strikeout issues, because you see he's a guy who's bringing something on the field every night, whether he's hitting the ball or not. That was an electric play that was huge for Justin Steele's outing, that double play there. He was in a jam, got him right out of it, pumped everybody up. Really nice to see from Christopher Morel.
And, I made a mistake here. We should have texted Ryan Herrera, who hopefully will join us later. I should have texted him the minute it happened. I do want to know if he was wearing a cup.
Yeah.
Christopher Morel, because I'm telling you, like, teams from the last, 15 years, that doesn't exist a lot in baseball. A lot of major leaguers do not feel comfortable wearing a cup, just like you would tell any little leaguer, wear a cup. A lot of these guys just, they do not do it. And that was a reason why I would suggest, no matter how uncomfortable it is, maybe he should. but I'd be curious what his answer would be. I really would like to know. Man, that looked painful.
Yeah, not great. Baseball 1, Christopher Morel's nuts 0. I mean, watching that replay was brutal, bro. Like,
I can't believe he stayed in the game.
Like,
honestly, he took a healthy cut on that strikeout too when he finally got up.
And then to go in the field afterwards is what I'm saying. Like, the game is over, and even if it's not, the score really doesn't matter long term. Like, wouldn't you just take a breather and be like, I think I'm good for the rest of the day?
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe Maybe it missed, but like it's still in an area.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We'll get Brendan to do a full analytical breakdown of the
Hopefully,
the
Ryan Herrera gets all the details, but not like too many details. We don't.
That's right.
We
just want to know if he was wearing a cup.
Yeah.
Just want to know if he's wearing a cup.
I like Shane's comment. He says, "Stuckies win." #Stuckies win.
Is he talking about who you got? Because we'll get to that.
No, I don't think he's talking about who you got.
Oh.
No.
Well, he could be.
Brennan also says he's on it, so he's on the case.
And not surprising that the chat, Mike Dubs and a bunch of people already on there saying, extend Wilson Contreras. Every time he has a game like this, I mean, he was great. 3 for 4, 2 doubles.
Home
run.
Yeah.
2 RBI. Hit by a pitch. He didn't run out of the box on that last one because he thought he had a second homer.
Yeah.
But, I mean, man.
Well, and you love on the Morel throw, too. Steele was pumped up, but you love, that's the other thing that you always see from Wilson is it doesn't matter how many games under 500 they are. It doesn't matter how far out they are. They make a play like that, especially he knows that's Morel. He knows that's a big play for him. He's been struggling. The reaction that Wilson has back there is one of those things beyond just him being, one of the best catchers in baseball. Like, he brings that energy. He loves this team. He loves his teammates, and you see it on plays like that. Like, that stuff does matter.
Yeah. Oh, Shane's clarifying that people in the chat are Stuckies because I said if Jim Rome has clones, we need to come up with something for the chat because everybody in the chat's as much a part of the show as we are. So that's why I don't think it really should be Stuckies.
I'm a Stucky. Can I be one, or I have to be in the chat?
No, you can be one.
Okay.
I just don't know. I've never been able to figure out what it should be, but we need to come up with something
Stucky
for the
squad.
chat because everybody in the chat deserves it. Like they're here every night.
Stucky squad. It's good alliteration, right?
No,
not feeling it. Squad's too new school.
We got to come up with something.
For Luke.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just letting it. I'm letting it roll. If they want to call it the Stuckies,
the grandkids,
whatever.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Right.
Mike Dubs, my good buddy, he says Wilson's homer was his 600th hit in the majors and said after the game he hopes to get to hit 2,000 with the Cubs. So I, too, would like to see that. But do the Cubs actually want to see that? We will see after August 2nd. But, yeah, I'm not trying to get negative right away, but
it's rapidly approaching.
Yeah.
Katie says 8-3 at home with homers from Morel and Contreras on Pride Night. The gay Cubs fans are living. I am living.
Hell yeah.
There you go, Katie.
Isaac
Her
says
vibes are immaculate right now.
Yeah. Isaac says I'm a Stucky and proud to be one.
Put that on a shirt.
I'm a Stucky.
And I'm proud to be one.
Yeah. I mean, I should even get one of those maybe.
You are Stucky.
Oh. Anyways, I mean, it was a fun game. Like, literally everything about it was fun until the lame home run at the end, which didn't mean anything. But, yeah, Fabian got a lot of play tonight.
You guys weren't a fan.
Well, I told you, I don't care how people want a Cub. I just thought it seemed like a lot of cutaway shots.
There was a lot of cutaway shots to him. He got his fame.
Oh, I mean.
Doubt. We didn't have, well, we had the volume up pretty loud, but we were also talking and laughing and like it was a rare night where we're not just sitting there and I'm thinking about how pissed off I am about how we're going to sell the entire team
we didn't even consider ice cream tonight.
Yeah, we didn't consider like it was a rare feel good like
a few times actually.
Yes, multiple times.
Vibes were high here.
Vibes were good.
Vibes were good, and so I wasn't thinking about all that, and then So,
Morel was great. Contreras was great. And, Corey, you talked about in pregame, you wanted the eye test to determine whether or not Steele had a good game. Did you see enough for it to be another good start for him?
I would say, yeah. I
Agreed.
think 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned. The 3 walks, I mean, that's clearly sort of that, one of the hurdles for him to get over is cutting down those walks. There was definitely a few moments in the game where he clearly was battling his command. The fastball especially was leaking high. But he threw a lot of really nice sliders, had the 6 strikeouts, 5 innings, 5+. He came out, Efros came into the dirty inning. But again, I think you look at tonight and last night with Keegan, and overall, looking at their line, they're not perfect nights. They're not, complete game shutouts or anything like that. But they are young pitchers that you developed, giving you competitive starts that are giving you opportunities to win games, which I think is what we're going for here. They've got a few months more in this season to continue making adjustments, but if you can get to a place by the end of the year, and I think you've seen it with them recently, you don't need them to be guys who are going to go win a Cy Young. If they develop into that, great. But you're just looking for, can we have 2 guys that are going to be in this rotation next year that are going to help us win games? And the body of work that we've seen from them for the majority of this year, I think the answer is yes to that question.
Yeah, that's well said. I mean, I just, again, want to see it in the second half of the season as well.
Absolutely.
I want to see it continue for the full year, and then you'd feel pretty good about both those guys being in the rotation next year. Doesn't matter who else is in it or where they're at in the rotation, but those would be 2 starts a week that you'd feel pretty good about who was going to the mound.
Yeah, and I think, another thing, too, especially as you talk about seeing them continue it, I don't have it in front of me, so I will admit to not knowing this exactly, but they both must be approaching or have already passed their career high in innings pitched or pitches thrown. We must be somewhere near there, I would think, for both of them. So it is going to be interesting to see how they manage that workload and how the 2 of them continue to kind of push through that as they enter territory that they have not really been in at the major league level.
I just, and as far as Thompson goes, I mean, at this point, I don't think they're putting him back in the role that he was really, really good at, right?
No.
They're going to have spots for him to pitch in the rotation, and I think they're exploring that the rest of the season. Even if there's some bumps along the road, I don't think he's going back to, it was a great role, but I think there's a much better chance that he stays as a starter the rest of the season. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I agree. Looking on Baseball Savant, Justin Steele, 11 swing and misses tonight. 6 strikeouts. A lot of them came early. Shout out to my bank account. Thank you, Justin. But also, the walks, who knows? I mean, came out with 84 pitches. So it is kind of, I don't know, maybe he could have gone deeper. Is very similar to Thompson last night, like we're saying, But, I guess I would have loved to see him get through that clean inning that David Bodie had the 2 errors, and then see where that pitch count is, and then move forward, right?
They didn't give him an error on either of them.
I don't
I cannot believe
they should have been
errors.
errors.
I mean, they were
the
errors.
second one is for sure, the fact that that's a hit against Steele is a crime.
Yeah. So, is what it is. I mean, there's a few people in the chat that are like, one person said if the fact that 5 innings is a great start is sad. I mean,
well,
in this day and age, it just is. If you can get 5 or 6 strong out of your starter, that's solid. And also, Justin Steele is still young. He's still working through the motions and stuff, and trying to he's trying to solidify a spot in the rotation for the future. And I said it in pregame. He had a really good month of June coming into tonight.
Yep.
Outside of his last start, that really, it was blown up because Jonathan VR sucks at defense.
2-0 with a 3.03 ERA in the month of June.
Right. So now tonight, gives up the one earned. Shout out to Scott Efros for, not for doing what Rowan Wick couldn't do last night.
Exactly.
And he has an ERA at 4.39. Like, for a young pitcher like Justin Steele, I understand the stats at the end of the day really don't matter. You want to see results. You want to see how he does from the beginning to the end. And, once you get a good roster surrounded for him defensively and offensively, then you can start to look at the numbers. But at this moment, I mean, he's putting himself in position to really be a major factor in the rotation next year. Yes, we need to see more. Yes, we can't just jump and assume he's going to be in the rotation next year right now. But June was was far and away his best month of his career as a starter, at least. So I'm very encouraged from what we're seeing from him, and it excites me.
And I think it's 5 innings isn't a great start.
Right. Michael and Shane are talking about it in the chat. Is it a great start?
No, and I don't think any of us meant it that way. I'm looking at him and Thompson through a lens of only those two guys, not in the context of Major League Baseball or anything.
Right.
Especially the two of them. Even going back to last year, they've both been in different roles. They've been stretched out. They've been going short. Like, this is about progress for them. This is not about, does the line tonight look like Jacob deGrom's? That's not the point. The point is, are these guys making progress, and are we getting closer to answering the question of, yes, these guys are major league starters, they belong in our rotation. And I think the 5 innings that we saw from Steele, even though you want more, Cody mentioned he only threw 84 pitches, you'd like him to get more, you'd like him to go through there, cut down those 3 walks, but this is progress. This is all building toward that body of work. And I know somebody asked about his FIP. It's 3.52. His ERA is 4.39 on the season, which, if you're into those metrics, suggests that his ERA may be a little unlucky, could be a little lower. Depends on, how much you believe in those things and what you're looking at. But a 3.5 FIP for someone who might be a back end of the rotation starter, like, you're definitely going to take that all day.
And going back to what you said in pregame, it's an eye test. Again, you're just what you said. We're not comparing him to the best pitchers in baseball. It's individual progress that you're looking for in both of these guys. Both are making that progress this season. There's no denying they've each made a big step in their progress as major league pitchers. And the eye test tells you so far that they belong at this level. Like, that's all I was really looking for this season, was just to decide, do they belong at this level? Not even as just starters. Relievers, starters, middle of the game guys. I don't care where you put them. I just wanted to know that they were major league pitchers. And so far, everything I've seen, minus a couple stray games here and there, the body of work tells me so far that, yes, they are definitely not just major leaguers, but potentially good major leaguers.
Yeah. And because this is also that time, like, especially with Thompson, I know Brendan and Ryan over at allchgo.com teamed up for a really great piece on Keegan Thompson's slider. But that's an example of something, and Steele is not added a pitch like that in the recent past, but that's also part of what these guys are doing. You're looking at these outings like they're trying to grow and go to that next level. Thompson, it's a clear example when he adds a new pitch that's generating whiffs and looks like another plus pitch that he's added. But it's also true for Justin Steele that, like, these starts are also their experiments, their work. They're trying to piece things together. So it's not, like we keep saying, it's more about the eye test and the growth. It's not necessarily about the results. But in most years, like, you'd take 5 innings of what did he give up? One run. Taking that all day. Yeah, turn it over to the bullpen.
Early on, he had a lot of strikeouts going, and then he lost a little bit of that command you were talking about. But
yeah. And again, that's been his biggest problem, when he'll have a random inning where the command is not there, and it's usually in the 3rd or 4th inning more often than not. And if he's able to go deep into games, like the few starts we saw him go 7, he didn't have that issue. So
it's also part of
the growing process.
As he walks those guys, that's also, there's sort of the give and take there, right? When he's battling his command, is often falling behind and maybe walking guys The alternative to that is he can fight through the command and throw the ball over the middle of the plate and get rocked.
Right.
He's avoiding that. So, that is one way to kind of stay out of that. So it's not the worst thing in the world. You'd rather him walk a couple guys than start serving up meatballs.
Yeah. Michael saying in the chat, hopefully Caleb can fix his problems in the minors, maybe come up after the All-Star game. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question that we would expect that he'll be back either after the All-Star game or trade deadline, one of the two.
I would guess trade deadline personally, but
yeah, I would agree that's more likely. But I mean, injuries or something else comes up, or they trade some guys early before the trade deadline. It's possible that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the expectation is certainly that you'll see Caleb Killian at the major league level again this season. Cody, one other great thing about Steele is he made you some cash.
He did. If you had the over on 4.5 strikeouts tonight, you're a winner. Also, I said on CHGO Bets Daily today, Nico Horner, or 2+ total bases, hit a 2-run double that I guess at one point it was the difference in the game, and then Brandon Drury hit a homer in the 9th inning. But whatever. He had a great game tonight, so if you took that and you listened to the bet show, congratulations, you're on your way to becoming a millionaire. Anyway, made these bets over on PointsBet, my favorite app. I open it every morning, like I say. And I love it so much because it's the best way to support CHGO. When you download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO, when you sign up, if you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker.
Look at that swag.
Brendan just wrote a really good article about Keegan Thompson, I believe, and also these shirts that we're showing you on the screen right now. Drip, sick drip, great swag. I'm telling you, just depositing $50 into your PointsBet account using the code CHGO, you get so much. I mean, why haven't you already done this if you haven't? It is a steal. Again, $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free T-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. Your home for live in-play betting just got even better. See an edge in the game you were watching. Is your favorite team primed for a comeback? For once, the Cubs were not trailing ever in this game, I don't believe. So you didn't have to live bet them tonight. But perhaps, I know the Sox are down right now, I believe. You can live bet them right now. Maybe they come back, and you can just soak in some money if they do win. Don't just watch the game. Bet along with it live. More live betting, more live markets, the faster live cash outs. Follow along with your bets the moment they hit. And stay in the live action all game long. Download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game. Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
By the way, Cody, summertime Cody in full effect today. Not only did his bets make him some cash, they delivered some money. He rolled in here. First of all, I wake up this morning, I open up the apps, and there's Cody on a boat cruising through the harbors in Chicago. He's on the boat. Then I come into work. He's complaining about his suntan. Oh, I'm too tan. I got tan lines. Look at the tan lines from my watch. Then he's showing me the floral shorts he came in on his scooter today. Living the boat life.
Do you wish you could live vicariously through me, Stucky?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying that to boost myself up.
Just for the Jordans alone and the salmon jacket.
Okay. That's fair.
The lows. I mean, the boat life.
Boat life. It's good. It's good to have.
Throw a buddy a line.
It's good to have a boat guy.
I mean,
you do need that in Chicago. I don't have.
No,
one,
that's one of the best.
I'm
things
only
you can
a
have
degree
as a friend
away
with a boat.
with. We're both a degree away.
And
we
they're
know
the
Cody,
ones paying for the gas, all of it. The fuel. For sure.
Brendan likes my tan.
Brendan says Cody's tan looks fantastic.
Thank you.
As good as Nico Horner's?
No.
Doubtful.
Tough question for Brendan. And you started your day with Strava Craft Coffee.
Oh, I did.
Huh?
Started my day,
Yeah.
and I'm going to I'm just going to end my day perfectly because Strava upped it.
Right.
Took it up that next notch and made my day incredible.
It's a foundation for your day.
It is.
You know?
Absolutely. I agree.
The first line right here, want to start your day with a competitive edge? That's like describing Cody's life right there. Boom, he did it. Strava CBD coffee is a game changer and has helped thousands of people improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh roasted specialty coffee infused with organic, broad spectrum CBD. CBD from hemp doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer real benefits that can help you feel alert and focused without the jitters. Pay attention, Corey, who's always bouncing his foot over here, bouncing his foot. Live your day more balanced, less anxiety, fewer aches and pains. That answers to me a little bit. Plus, including CBD in your daily routine can even help you enjoy a more restful sleep so you wake up feeling your best. Who doesn't want that? Here's the best part. Strava is all about quality. Everything is small batch, fresh, and shipped straight to your door. Offers a full concentrated spectrum CBD tinctures for those looking for the more traditional CBD format as well. You can get that if you want it. CHGO listeners have 25% off their entire purchase right now using the code CHGO25. That's 25% off your entire order at StravaCraftCoffee.com. Use the code CHGO25 at checkout. Discount coupon valid on non-subscription purchases only. One use per customer, and if you already love Strava, go ahead and subscribe and save with the Strava Coffee Club. You're in control. Save on your favorite coffees. Have them automatically delivered to your home or office on your preferred schedule. So you are all in on this.
I am. I got the sampler. You get like 3 different kinds.
Is that strength level?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And I used the promo code. Got I can't remember the price, but it was under $30.
25% off.
Yeah, I got 25% off, under $30 for the entire thing that I got. I think it was pretty solid.
Did you take any for your boat buddy?
No. I ain't sharing.
You got to keep that. Yeah, you can't.
You got to hang on to it.
Even for the boat.
He's a friend, but he's not that close to a friend.
I brought snacks and I brought some spotted cows for him. Oh, by the way, I lost my my cooler. Like I had a cooler that had alcohol in it, and it must have flew out of the boat or something. We couldn't find it.
What?
Yeah. We all were like kind of mind blown after, like when they went to drop me and my girlfriend off at the dock, and before we got back, we were all trying to find it. We couldn't find it. I have no idea what happened to it.
Thank goodness it wasn't a person.
Right. Yeah.
I was literally just about to say that. I was like, what else did you lose?
Yeah.
Like, did you check
Anybody
everything?
seen Tommy? Not in a couple hours. He was with the cooler last time I saw him.
Yeah.
Swimming with the fishies.
Yeah.
That's like that.
Poor went out for that random, that one last spotted cat.
That's one of those great viral videos that's always out on the internet where there's like a group of people in a speedboat that's just one of those super massive speedboats that just blow the water out of the lake, and they're all bouncing. All of a sudden they hit a wave and they're all like, people are knocked out cold. You know?
And that's kind of like what we came up with, because this boat, like, we went from the Belmont Harbor all the way over to like North Avenue, so like the playpen is what they call it.
Oh, yeah.
And
see, Cody was in the playpen with his floral shorts and his salmon tank today.
We were vibing, okay?
Heck yeah.
Luke knows.
Anyway, the boat, like my friend's dad, he just put that thing at full speed, and
boom.
I just can't believe we didn't hear it fall out of the boat or anything.
Was the name of the boat Suck My Wake? You guys don't even know that. It's the Great Outdoors. It's a great boat name.
Okay.
The wake is the waves that it creates out the back. John Candy movie. Kids, look it up. If you've never seen The Great Outdoors, you've never even heard of the movie, have you?
I'm familiar with John Candy, but no. Cody and I are the same age, so you're
I've never heard
Please,
of it.
somebody in the
yourself.
chat tell me you've seen The Great Outdoors.
My dad will probably be mad that I
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
seen
sure
it
we're
if
going to
I'm
get
guessing.
slander here in the chat.
It's Dan Aykroyd and John Candy.
I'm familiar.
You got to be able to find it on demand.
We'll
somewhere.
do CHGO movie night.
Ooh.
I can't.
Can we
move on?
Yeah. Then we got more slander. We have more slander to
Who are
talk
we
about.
slandering? Oh.
What was the slander?
Well, we got to talk about Albert Almora.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
I want to talk about
All right,
Albert
let's
Almora.
talk about it. So Albert Almora obviously now playing for the Reds, and he was on with Bruce Levine. He was interviewed by Bruce Levine today. His interview was played on the Spiegel and Parkin show, and basically he was talking about his time with the Cubs and how it just didn't develop into what he wanted it to be, right? He's talking about some of the failures. Before we even set it up, I will say, remember, he did have a key role in Game 7 in the World Series. He did help win you a World Series. However, he wasn't happy about the way it ended. This is him with Bruce Levine explaining what he feels went wrong with the Cubs.
Bruce, about Jason Hayward. Bruce Levine talked to Albert Almora. How he described his time with the Cubs was fairly interesting here.
It was a little muddy waters just because they wanted me to hit the ball in the air more, and then it was just I was young. I'm still young, but they wanted me to do these things, and I honestly didn't feel like it was explained in the right terms for me at that time in my career. So you're in the middle of like I want to stay the same player, but I want to do as I'm told, and I want to obviously play. And then I started, not having the opportunities and to play a lot, and it's just so. It's just like you said, I was just in the mix of it, and for a couple of years there, I was kind of lost. I just lost who I was. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I felt like I had 15 different hitting stances in a month. It was a tough, dark time. I didn't know if I would ever get out of it, and it took really some grit, some determination. A lot of close people to me just to remind me who I was and what type of player I was, and obviously a lot of determination and will from my end to not let the game beat me, and not let the because everybody gets put through these kinds of ringers and types of obstacles, but I just felt like I had to just keep going.
So obviously, I would say the main takeaway for me is that there's not a ton of accountability. Like, he's not taking much of the blame. 15 batting stances in, what did he say, a week?
That's what he claims. Yeah.
Luke,
can I go first? Or?
Go ahead.
Listen, however you want to do it. I think we're all on the same page. So if you wanna hit this first, it's all you.
All I'm gonna say is that Albert Almora, first round pick, didn't come up until 16. His role with the 2016 Cubs was very. He was a bench guy. He was a guy who'd come in and play defense. And this is kind of like a reminder that in 16 he was off the bench. He was a defensive replacement, rarely got any at-bats at all, and that's it. And then in 17 and 18, he started getting more opportunities. In 18, I think, is the year that you thought he was going to put it all together. He had a great first half. And then it all felt like the entire Cubs offense fell apart in the second half of 2018, but he really fell off in the second half. I mean, I remember in the first half of 2018, people were saying we should write him in for the All-Star game. That's how good he was in the first half of 2018. Now, 2019, I mean, I think Corey said it when we were talking off air about it. He led off like 40 games, and
they were desperate to find a leadoff guy.
Yeah, they were desperate. And, he didn't play well. You even started to see some of the bad come from his defense, too, and that was the one thing you could always rely on him for. I'm not saying that the Cubs coaching staff didn't play a part in his development not working out, but to bluntly blame the Cubs coaching staff for all of his issues and stuff is just it's an unneeded jab.
Yeah.
It truly is an unneeded jab because it's not like the Cubs didn't give him the opportunity. That guy got so many at-bats in 2019 that honestly he didn't deserve. Ian Happ spent the entire 2019 season in AAA basically. And I know Ian Happ had a really bad spring in that 2019 season, and it kind of came off that he came into camp, just assuming that he was going to play or something like that. I know that was kind of a narrative. But, like, Ian Happ, we've talked about it plenty of times. He's had his ups and downs. The roller coaster, it's never been linear for him until this year. Like, so who gets the credit for Ian Happ figuring it out? Is it Ian Happ?
Yes.
Or is it the coaching staff? You can't, that's kind of the point. The Cubs have had plenty of good players that have struggled at times and then turned into really good hitters. And they've had vice versa where ones didn't work out. So to me, yes, there is some blame when it comes to hitting coaches and whatever coaching you want to call it. But at the same time, it's Major League Baseball. You either perform or not. And if you don't perform, they will find your replacement. At the end of the day, they will do it. I just think what Almora's quote is, whether he means to really jab or not, I just think it was very unneeded. And it's not like he's mashing the baseball with the Reds. Congratulations on being the starting right fielder for the Reds, okay? Like, that's the only thing that really bothers me about it. Like, if he was having an insane year, I'd honestly actually be happy for him just because he finally figured it out and he was a top draft pick. But he's not even really doing anything with the Reds either. So I don't really know where this narrative of him figuring it out is. So, yeah, now this entire situation, that quote and everything, it's kind of just changed my idea of him or my perspective of him. Again, thankful for his contributions in 2016, but again, an unneeded jab, absolutely an unneeded jab.
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of led off with, he had a huge moment in the 2016 World Series Game 7. He made a great catch in that game in San Francisco. They ended up losing that game, but that would have been, one of the kind of peak moments had they won that game and won that series on that night. By all accounts, he's always seemed like a good guy. So I don't even like having these conversations so many years later because we should just be able to leave it at that. Nobody's going to argue that the Cubs having so many hitting coaches has been a good process, right? That you don't want that. The reason they've changed is because they felt things didn't work. But Albert has failed to hit pretty much every year since 2017. And in 2017, he was 4% above league average. That's the best he's ever done. He has basically never hit at the major league level to a league average level. And oftentimes he's been way worse, extremely worse. So when he's talking about 15 swing changes, this and that, and he even mentioned in one of the things, they wanted him to hit the ball in the air more. Albert, they wanted you to hit the ball in the air more because all you did was pound the ball to shortstop and ground into double plays.
You led the league in ground ball rate.
I mean, they wanted you to hit the ball in the air because your offensive profile was not tenable at the major league level, which he's proven every single year in the majors. Right. And you want to talk about hitting coaches, he was with the Mets in 2021, only 47 games, but he had a negative 10 WRC plus. Not even positive, right?
No.
He's with the Reds now, and for whatever reason they're talking about him figuring it out, he's got a 90 WRC plus. He's figured out nothing, right? That's buoyed by 5 home runs at Great American Ballpark. His numbers, I think his OPS outside of Great American Ballpark is in the 500s. He's figured out nothing. So what bothers me about this, and you kind of alluded to it, is one, it's just unnecessary. If he was asked a question that led him to this, whatever. Sometimes guys answer questions. But he had over 300 plate appearances with the Cubs 3 times. He got his chances, right? I would make a really strong argument that if he does not lead off that much in 2019, that team maybe makes the playoffs or they get closer to it. That's a stance that a hill that I'm willing to die on. But when we talk about the Cubs having too many hitting coaches, it's of course not a good thing. You want continuity. You want some of that to stick. But as you alluded to, then you get into a game of, okay, well, what are we giving credit for and what are we blaming them for, right? People talk about other guys not developing at the major league level. That's true in part. The counter to that is that for about a 5-year period with the Chicago Cubs having been developed in their system, Chris Bryant was the 3rd best hitter in baseball, for like 5 years behind Mookie Betts and Mike Trout. Anthony Rizzo was traded by the San Diego Padres and for a decade has been one of the most consistent and productive hitters in Major League Baseball. Is that a credit to the Cubs? Is that do they not get credit for that, but they get credit for the failures? This gets messy. At the end of the day, you're a Major League Baseball player. They want you to make the adjustments because they're trying to help you, right? Mm-hmm. And we've seen many guys have to do this. Javi's had to make swing adjustments, a ton of them. Wilson's made swing adjustments, KB, all these guys have made adjustments. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. Some of the guys, like Albert, have never produced at the Major League level. So my opinion would be spare me putting it on the hitting coaches.
Right.
You got to take some accountability, not none. You can't take none. It's not the hitting coach's fault that he has never been a good Major League hitter. It's just not.
He was the first draft pick of Theo Epstein with the Cubs.
Right.
First round pick. If he believes, and he didn't say this, but I'm just saying, based on what he was saying, he was talking about opportunities. Believe me, Theo Epstein, if anybody wanted his first draft pick with the Cubs to be a guy that would be successful, that's why he got all those leadoff chances. That's why he was given that opportunity to go out. Hey, you and Ian Happ, one of you guys go win that outfield spot. Show that you deserve it. And to Happ's credit, I give him, he went down to Iowa. I know he was not happy about being in Iowa, but he finally accepted what he was doing down there. He believed he was already a major league hitter, and he had already shown more power than Almora had ever shown at the major league level.
That was the one thing you knew you'd get from Ian Happ.
But he was not happy about going down there. He went down there, he worked on it, and he's worked his way back, and now you see somebody who it appears has really turned his career around or jump-started his career. I can't accept the part where he says he didn't get a chance with the Cubs.
He got too much of a chance.
All of those guys got a chance.
He got a chance.
Yeah, all of those guys got a chance.
And you're both kind of talking about it. Like the Ian Happ thing is also a really good counter to exactly what he's talking about. Ian Happ has been in the organization. He's been in the majors since 2017. He was drafted in 2015. So he's also had a bunch of different hitting coaches, right? As you guys have both pointed out, he was sent down in a year where nobody expected that, and I'm sure he didn't like it.
Right.
And what has Ian Happ done when we compare that to Albert Almora? Ian Happ, since 2017, has played at least some part in the major league level, and every year since then, he has never been a below-league average hitter. So do the Cubs get credit for that? He's been through the same process, and he has put in the work. He's grinded it out. He's accepted these changes. He's made a ton of swing changes, Ian Happ, right? He got sent down because he was swinging through too many pitches over the heart of the plate. That was the point when they sent him down. He worked on it. He fixed it. Right now, he's been we're talking about him getting into the All-Star game. Yeah. Right? It's a very similar thing. So for one guy to be kind of blaming the organization and the other, I think you said this. I don't know if we even need to give credit or blame to the coaches. At some point, it's on the players. Ian Happ has put in the work. He's made the adjustments. He's come out on the other side. Almora didn't.
You try and listen, but ultimately, if you're going to make it in the big leagues, generally it's up to you.
Right. To end it, 2017, 323 plate appearances. 2018, 479 plate appearances. 2019, 363 play appearances. That's well over 300 games.
And those are on deeply competitive teams.
Yes,
like those are big-time innings and at-bats.
The amount of times Cubs fans were done with Albert Almora was well past due. It was well past due. That if you want to talk about Theo and Jed not shaking up the roster, he is the prime example of why 2019 and 2020 happened, and why we're honestly a big part of why we are in this position right now where they might sell off again at the deadline because they didn't move things earlier. I don't know if they would have got anything significant for Albert Almora after 2018 in a 1.6 F-WAR, but I'm just saying that they believed in guys like him way too long.
Theo said that. He said we stuck with these guys too long. When he says that, this is who he's talking about.
And his glove was never in question. We'll actually give Shane the last word on this. He says, I was part of the front office in Daytona when Al Mora was there. Super nice guy, agree with that. But he was never an offensive guy, even in the minors. So, like, again, that your development there is going to fall on your own shoulders when it's all said and done.
There was an article I was on MLB.com, too, that he had at times sought, the counsel of other hitting coaches and people in other organizations that he knew. So that's also part of it, You're going outside the organization as well, which a lot of guys do.
Right.
Chris Bryant did as well with his dad, Mike. Like, so, again, it all just leads to the point that it's like, it's on you. You can seek as much advice as you want. You can take as much as you want. If you think they're tinkering too much, then you got to say that at some point, but it's on you. And the results were never there. They were literally never there.
I heard the magic jingle, which means Ryan Herrera should be ready here in a second. Cody, what is your pick of the week on PointsBet before we get to Ryan?
Well, Luke, I thought about it, and tomorrow I'm going to bet the Cubs. I didn't bet the Cubs tonight. I didn't bet on the Reds either, but I did bet the Cubs the night before. Tomorrow I'm going to bet the Cubs. You know why? Because I'm going to the game with my girlfriend where in our 4-year relationship almost, every game that we've ever gone to, the Cubs have won except for one time. So we're putting that on the line tomorrow. Bet responsibly.
Which was the one game?
It was one of the games this year.
That doesn't count. Doesn't count. It's a rebuild.
So weren't you at the 20-5?
We were at a 20-0 game.
Or 20-0.
Yeah, we were at the 20-0 game. And the last game we went to, they won. Last 3 games we've gone to, that me and her have gone to, won. So,
but you're going again. Summertime Cody continues.
Yeah, well, Corey and Brennan
boat to the ball
show,
game.
So we're going to go take advantage and go hang out in the bleachers with some of her friends. So
nice.
If you be out at the ballpark tomorrow, let me know.
Give him a shout out. All right, let's get to Ryan Herrera. Ryan, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Hello,
We just had a lot of Albert Almora chat about his interview with Bruce Levine on the Score. I was curious. I know you reported before the game that Seiya was at the ballpark, seemed to be feeling good, and now he's heading out. Is that correct? He's heading out to his rehab assignment?
Yeah, he's heading out he'll be going out to Iowa tomorrow, join that team. Ross didn't give like a timetable specifically of like how many games Seiya will need, but he says that he's feeling good and that they're just going to kind of listen to what Seiya says. Whether that's a week, whether that's 10 days. That's no timetable, but Seiya will be starting his rehab tomorrow.
Yeah, that was my next question. I was wondering, is it like a week? Would he be here next week?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think you're down there for 2 weeks trying to get ready. I mean, he has been out a long time.
Yeah.
But I would think it's at least the rest of this week and the weekend that he's with Iowa. Minimum, right? It doesn't seem like with him being out that long, it could just be like a one-game type rehab assignment.
I think so.
It's going to be interesting, like when he does play that week with Morel bouncing back tonight, and I know Jason Hayward has a knee issue. I don't know if that's quotes around it, but whatever. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is true. Ryan, how was Morel feeling after the game? Did you guys see him? Because
he said
I wanted to text you, and I wanted to text you to ask him if he wears a cup, because I know more major leaguers do not wear a cup than I ever imagined. I found out a few years ago.
That's not the question. No, it just kind of asked if he felt good, and he said he feels all right.
Okay. All right, then maybe he does.
But I think based on like how badly it looked like it hurt, maybe not. But anyone that's played baseball not wearing a cup and has gotten one to the place you don't want to get hit to knows how bad that feels. So, but yeah, he said he feels good. I think the throw home, the home run, everything kind of helps this thing go away a little more. But he said he feels good.
Yeah, I got to tell you, though, if he was really, really hurting there, 3 home runs wouldn't have made him feel better.
Oh.
So if he was there talking to reporters, I'm going to say he's all right.
Yeah.
Which is great news.
Maybe just missed, but you foul a pitch and in the dirt and it comes right back up and hits you. In the midsection? Yeah.
A little shock if anything else.
Yeah.
What did you think of Steele's outing tonight?
I think it was good. I think it was another solid outing. Not obviously his best. I mean, those couple 7-inning, one run, he's had better outings. Got into a little trouble there in the first, which was it the first actually? Yeah, I don't remember exactly what inning. But obviously getting out of the inning with the Morel throw out was huge, and then just later on in the game, obviously the inning that he got taken out, a little bit more traffic. He said he kind of lost feel for the four-seamer a little bit there and had to kind of try to find it. But, I thought he's getting a decent amount of whiffs, and nothing looked so far off that he was really struggling. I think it was, another solid outing. Definitely, again, has done better and can do better, which he kind of admitted, he kind of obviously wants to get better control of, especially of that four seam. That's what he said after the game, is as far as where he wants to go from here, control the four seam, because he said just everything else plays off that pitch, which I think we've heard, Ross say or other pitchers say about, everyone, every pitcher, the fastball command is obviously the biggest thing, because a lot of off speed, breaking balls, they do play off the fastball as long as it's working well. So I don't know. Yeah, solid outing. He could do better, and I know he knows that. He wants to. Cody, real quick, one thing. Can you look to the right? Look to your right for me.
Me?
Yeah, Cody. Just look to your right.
Look to my right?
Yeah.
Your other right?
No, that's your left. There's one big chunk of hair. I don't know if you can see it on the TV, just sticking straight out.
Well, he was doing the boat life today, man.
I was on a boat today.
He was
my
on a
hair's
speedboat. His hair was flying up like this today.
Oh, I do see what he means. It kind of looks like he has a man bun if you look at the.
Oh, it looks like you get a man bun because if you turn
on the camera.
Well,
he's got the alfalfa.
That's a combo of sunscreen, spotted cow. I mean, the guy's got a missing cooler.
Why would you bring this up?
We don't have a hair and makeup department here.
Yeah.
We're doing it live.
Right.
Not yet.
We'll do it live.
Just because
We are CHGO. We were unbuttoned. I mean, I could have worn my swim trunks and tank top today.
He almost did.
I almost did. I could have one-upped Summer Peck.
That's right.
Ooh.
He was like, these tan lines are not safe for the audience, so we're going to just keep it to ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, so should we get into who you got? Ryan, are you good with that? Because your guy's out of it, but it looks like you and Corey may decide this. And I would say there's 3 ways it could play out. 1, I win with Ian Happ. 2, Cody wins with wisdom.
Or Horner,
I mean. Or 3, we each get a point. Cody and I each get a point. Now, my guy was on base 4 times.
Yeah.
Had an RBI double. And what else did he do? No, that's it, right?
Yeah.
He was on base 4 times and had an RBI double. It's a pretty good night.
Happ wins.
It's a pretty good night. But what did Horner have?
He had a walk and a 2-run.
One more RBI.
One more RBI.
Is, I think,
but not on base as many times. You don't want to give me credit for the he was hit by pitch once.
Same amount of total bases, I think.
I'm willing
to. They both had 2.
I'm willing to give a point to everyone. Well, to Cody and I.
Nah, we'll give it. I say only Happ.
Only Happ.
Gotta keep Cody.
Corey's disagreeing. We have a hung jury.
I would have taken, if I had to pick one, I think I would give it to Nico. So I think if anything, we're doing both.
Is Brendan in the comments? Let us know, Brendan.
Well, he's going to say Nico. That's not fair. Brendan's biased.
Exactly.
Happ had the go-ahead RBI. The go-ahead RBI that Cubs never trailed again.
Marcus is saying it's a tie, so we should each get one.
Ryan and I also get a point.
No, you guys do not.
I think so.
Let's not go too far.
There's no world that happens.
I'll be honest. I'm just trying to keep Cody within a couple points of me. So if he gets a point, I get a point.
But if that's the case, it's 10. It would be 10.
Oh, there 8, he is. Told you.
7, right? objectively.
He's not. He's biased. You can't. I mean, I said Nico too, but Brendan can't be taken seriously.
Right, and Brendan took Sogard, so I mean, you can't even.
He's gonna kill you.
Okay.
So he certainly doesn't get a point.
I will accept us each getting a point. I will accept that.
All right, we each get a point. So you're at 11.
I'm at 11, and you're at 8.
And I'm at 8, and Ryan's at 8.
Yes.
But we're both giving points now? Is that what we decided?
We're giving out 2 points.
I don't think
Brendan's quitting.
I don't think in the times that I've been on here and done Who You Got, if you told me that I don't even have a hit between all of them, I'd believe you. I know I took Wisdom for one game. He didn't have a hit.
Well,
Jared and Corey both.
Velasquez didn't have one.
They
tonight.
are 17 games under 500. It's not easy to pick a winner every night.
Well, you guys are having some success.
Well, yeah. But sometimes we're accepting a guy just getting on base.
Right. One time Joey almost won with Hayward. And
That's right.
That game was just bad.
Jokingly picked Hayward, and they were like, he might win with Hayward.
Or what about that one time Ryan almost won with Andrelton Simmons?
Yeah. Because we gave him. You didn't make a pick, and we gave him to you as a joke, and then it was like, again, he was winning.
Yeah, I think he was winning for like the first half of the game. I think he had a hit and no one else did. I might actually win this thing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll divvy it up tonight. Kyle Hendricks goes on Thursday, 7 1/3, no runs against St. Louis in his last start. Looked good. Frankly, he owns the Cardinals for his career, and he's done really well against the Padres this season. He's had at least four now really, really good starts this season. Don't get me wrong, there've been some bombs, but now you can say there's people. Everybody's been in the chat today we want more than 5 innings. He's had at least 4 really good starts this season. So some people don't want to hear it, but trade value up.
Yeah, after the last start, his trade value is the stock is rising. I am sad to say that, but he's not been good against the Reds. I am still going to take the Cubs tomorrow to win, but he has not been great against the Reds. His last start against the Reds, 4 innings, 4 earned, 1 homer.
Yeah. He did have a 6-inning 1-run against the Reds this year, I think, right? Or was that last season?
I'd have to bring it up. I'm just looking at his last 10 starts.
He had one not good. The 4 for 4, and then I think there was a 6-inning 1-run. So
okay.
And we'll see.
It's been an interesting year for him. It's also, even just looking at the splits, he has not been better at Wrigley, which is pretty rare for him historically.
Was always the one thing he had.
He was always nails at Wrigley Field. But, Ryan, we talked about it with Brendan on late on Friday night after that game in St. Louis. Vintage Kyle is still clearly in there. It's just about kind of finding that consistency with his mechanics and everything. So, pretty much every start until he, if he can kind of get on a roll, until that point, you're kind of just hoping that that's the Kyle that shows up on a given night. But hopefully, Steele and Thompson have looked good against this Red offense. A lot of strikeouts in these last couple games for those guys. So hopefully we see a similar version of Kyle that we saw on Friday night in St. Louis.
You mentioned the consistency, and I think that's kind of always been one thing, especially with that fastball. And again, we talked about it, Corey, like you mentioned, but you go look at his heat maps or his pitch charts and whatever. It's whenever the fastball is not consistent, you go look at the box score, and that's when he gets blown up. So that's obviously, I think that's what we talk about every single time, but just him coming out and establishing that fastball is key for him. Just to get through and St. Louis, it was there. Obviously, San Diego a couple months ago, it was there. Just all his good starts, you could see that fastball playing the way he wants to play. So that's very obviously the expectation or the hope that when Kyle Hendricks pitches tomorrow, that's what you go into. Also, stay on the lookout. Me and the pitch doctor, we got a little something we're going with Kyle Hendricks. That'll probably come out Friday morning. But we got a little. Me and the pitch doctor are we're in the lab. We're mixing chemicals or whatever.
Allchgo.com.
We mentioned before, if you're not signed up at allchgo.com, the stuff when you guys team up, your writing is good on its own. But the Swarmer piece, the Keegan Thompson slider piece, I don't even know what this Kyle Hendricks thing is going to be, but it's going to be can't miss based on the precedent.
And now I'm definitely all in on the Cubs winning tomorrow, because if the Cubs win tomorrow, Kyle Hendricks is having a good start, which means that everyone's going to want to read this article coming from allchgo.com.
That's a good call.
We're just all coming together here. Slam the Cubs tomorrow on your PointsBet app. Responsibly, of course. I digress.
And while you're there, get yourself a free shirt because you signed up from the CHGO locker.
Hell yeah, get that Chicago, hey Chicago, what do you say shirt, or the
new
Skyline
swag
shirt.
We'll get a couple of them. Really,
go buy a few sock shirts for your friends who are morons. Yeah.
Wow. a shot out the door before we leave.
I'm just kidding in a way.
Hey, one last question, Ryan. We've seen so many different lineup scenarios this season play out. Do you think we all kind of like tonight's lineup going in? Do you think we'll see it again tomorrow or something very similar to it?
I think we can. I know I think Morel had started like 30 straight games he played or something like that. Leadoff. Like that's where he was positioned for a while. Am I even on the screen? And then, Ross kind of talked about putting him down at the 9 hole, help him just kind of focus on maybe even one less at bat, focus on his timing, which you saw kind of play today. As far as that, I think you'll see something similar. I think, Ortega didn't have his greatest night today, but he's been hitting the ball well, having good at bats and could definitely see him again right there in the leading off. Obviously, Contreras number 2. I think the lineup makeup will look pretty similar, if not the exact same. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Bodie gets a day off, or whatever happens. Who knows? But I think you can see. I think we're starting to see more consistent lineup construction than what like the first month plus was. I think, and especially with Morel, the night he had at the 9 hole, I think especially him kind of keeping that consistent and seeing what he can do and seeing if he can kind of turn things around is going to be, I'd imagine a similar spot tomorrow.
Sounds good. Cubs win 8-3 over the Reds. Ryan will be back at the ballpark. Corey and Brendan with the post-game show on Thursday night, correct?
Yes, sir.
Me and Stucky back on Friday.
Yeah, after some summertime vibes tomorrow.
Ooh.
Maybe some more boating.
Perhaps.
Again, look for Cody at the game.
Yeah, I'll be at the game tomorrow. Left field bleachers.
Look for the guy with the Jordans.
Yeah, I need to go to Obvious Shirts and get that right field sucks shirt.
Oh, you're gonna get a new one. Well, you could always wear some of our swag.
I do like to wear our swag though too.
Or we haven't shown it yet. We got a PointsBet shirt now.
We do have a PointsBet shirt. I could do that and just stick it to the Cubs wrap and the DraftKings sportsbook getting
walk
built
right
out there.
past that with the PointsBet.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs postgame show presented by PointsBet. Don't forget to use that promo code CHGO when you sign up. Make sure you get that membership so you can read Ryan's work all the time.
Good
right?
plug.
All the time.
Cubs win. Fly the W. We'll see you tomorrow.